Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, one of the best sitcoms ever, of course, was The Golden Girls. And it's doing a lot of people's heads in now, realizing that the girls were so much younger than they appear, and all the difference between women in their 40s and 50s and the 80s and now, and all that sort of stuff's playing out in an interesting way. But there's been talk for a while of a reboot or a remake or something. Now, we haven't gotten anything official, but what we did get was kind of like the gay version of The Golden Girls, called Mid-Century Modern, where they've kind of flipped the dynamics because in order to play up the aging factor, because they couldn't have like three gay men in their 40s or even 50s and not have them acting like a bunch of teenagers, and then have like the one sort of older parent that's sort of, the age difference. So they've reversed it. Now they've got one younger guy in his 40s. I think it's Matt Boomer's in his 40s. And then the other guys are in their like 60s. And they're playing that out because they had to age them up 20 years because of just the way that dynamic would have to work. And now it's a reverse thing. So you've got the younger guys living with the older gay guys, and a little bit of the culture shock in that level with the age and all that. And that's the way they've sort of spun it. And so it's not an exact copy of The Golden Girls, but with gay men. And it has, the time sort of has affected how that's been done. I haven't seen the show yet, but I've seen a few scenes, and it looks interesting. It looks good. It looks, I must admit, it looks a little sitcom-y. There was a few scenes and like the laugh track, and I'm like, wow, that's really, really generic. But then there were another couple of scenes that were really very, gay-centric and very much, exploring the culture. So I'm like, okay, I think I can embrace a very homogenized gay depiction. But there was some cliche stuff, like they had some guy, they were looking for a housemaid or something, a house cleaner or something, and of course they have like the perfect female person, who's applied for the job, and then this hot guy walks in, so they're just like, oh sorry, no, yep, no, you've got it. And I'm like, so they're playing with those sort of cliches and being very sort of stereotypical in some ways, but they're stereotypes for a reason. Stereotypes exist for a reason. They're never everyone, and you can't generalize, but they always exist for a reason, because there's always someone that actually is that stereotype. So there was that, and there was another funny scene where they just were putting their pills in their things, as we do, and they just started having a musical moment, and they started doing the cell block tango from Chicago. See, even I know that, and they just start singing it, and you just start singing it yourself. I'm like, yeah, okay. So long as it's written by gays and done in the right way, I think this show has some merit. But no, it's not an actual Golden Girls remake. They should do a Golden Girls remake. The closest they've done to that is Hot in Cleveland, where these ladies in their 40s and 50s all moved to Cleveland and found out they actually were hotter there than from LA where they lived. And they had, of course, Betty White playing sort of like the older Sophia role. And it kind of worked because they did play on the fact that these ladies were older, but they pushed against it and pushed against those stereotypes, and it was a lot more fun. But I think it'd be really nice for someone to do a Golden Girls remake where it is a bunch of old ladies just being outrageous, because that's what the original sort of was. Even though ladies in the 80s, were old apparently in their 40s and 50s, but today they're not. So they'd have to age them up, but they can still do it. They can still have these actors have a bunch of old ladies in their 80s just, going wild. It could be fabulous. And I hope someone does. I don't know if they're just scared to touch the original, or if they just don't know how to do it because of the age issue now, where it's not the same, it wouldn't be the same dynamic, and they'd have to play around with it. But there's ways to do it. Age them all up. Age them to the sort of way that they would have, the 80s characters acted, sort of thing. So I think there's a way to do it, and I hope they do it, because although I think is there 7 seasons of The Golden Girls? No, 9? There's a lot of episodes, but I have seen them a few times now, and it's like I'd like some more Golden Girls. And I do look forward to owning Mid-Century Modern at some point and watching it, because I can't find it anywhere to stream at the moment, but I'll give that a watch. I don't like a lot of sitcoms. There's not many, but when I do love one, you can just live in it and just watch it all the time. It's just comfort food. It's nostalgia, and I'd like another one of those shows, because I haven't had one of those for a while. It's been a while since there's been a good sitcom that I actually enjoy watching. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I don't know how I got 5 minutes out of not watching a show and just talking about some elements of the concept and how that's sort of playing out, because I wasn't sure how they were going to handle the show and manage the show. And I've seen a few scenes now, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how they're doing it. Okay, kind of works. But yes, we need an official reboot of the Golden Girls because they could just have so much fun with it now. Just aging the ladies up and just going to town, it could be absolute ball. They could go too far and be kind of gross, but it could also just be absolute perfection if they just hit that balance. But that they had in the 80s. But yeah, I'm still talking. I'm going to go. Bye.